Good morning, good morning. It's time to sing yourselves awake. Good morning, good morning. Especially if you're still laying in bed. Wake up, sleepy heads, it's morning. Good morning, good morning. What's going on, sleepy heads? Wake up. This angle right here, this angle, watch. No, it's the same as if you were like right here looking that way. So you're down here in the water. This is a salvage barge. And you're looking up this way into some of the little buildings that you'll always find around docks. See that? And then some of the buildings, you got a tattoo parlors, you got a photo shop in back, you got the Chinese food, you have the guard room, you have the lounge. This is a canning company. Oh, yeah. Good morning to you. Good morning. It's an awfully beautiful morning. I'm glad I'm spending it with the tea crew. We have to write our own morning song here, right? We should have our own morning song. Okay. Hey, thanks to everybody for hitting up Sandman's page, his new page. Thank you for doing that, friends and fam. Um, Keep it up. Spread the word. He needs to be at 1,000 by Friday, by tomorrow afternoon. So that's the goal. We can get him to 1,000 by tomorrow afternoon. Okay. You got to have a goal, Jolie. Got to have a goal. Hey, good morning. And it truly is. Can I show you guys something really creepy? Who wants to see? Give me 5 people. Hey, you guys are doing good this morning. 26 people, 20 likes. That's pretty good. You guys, I didn't even have to holler at you today. That's pretty good. Thank you. Creepy. Give me 5 people that want to see creepy. Give me 5 people. Mary Jane wants to see creepy. She says so. No, I'm going flying today, Billy D. This is my flight outfit. I'm going flying today. Okay. Creepy? You guys ready? You guys ready for creep? All right, here we go. Here we go. Badgie, you be quiet. Okay. Now I want you guys to notice who this came from to me. I'm a little frustrated. I don't like this kind of stuff. Okay, I'll show you one more time because I know you're creeped out. What the hell is going on? What the? What are people doing with their free time nowadays? Seriously. Badgie, what are people doing with their free time nowadays. Clearly you follow him. Brock's like, this guy's great. Badgie's, this guy's great. Who is this guy? What the hell is he doing? Wait a minute. Do you know how much practice that took? Do you know how many times he had to do that? I'm telling you, he could have been growing mushrooms. What the heck is going on? I know. I'm gonna create. I thought I was creative. All of it's freaking me out. All of it's freaking me out beyond Freako. And then add to it, he's a known character. He does these. Let me add a whole other layer. My son sends that to me. I don't want to see that from my son. I just added a top layer. Badgie knows the guy. God. Oh. What the heck? Badgie. Hey, wait a minute. Badgie, do you know how to do that? Seriously, you tell the crew. Have you been practicing? Tell the crew. Can you guys tell I'm doing a bad visual? Badgie and Brock practicing. One's filming. Oh, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Okay? Good morning, eggs. Badgie has been out of control. He and Brock have been filming stuff, I found out. Okay? Badgie could do the helicopter. All right, that's enough about those two. Oh my goodness. So many things are coming clear to me now. Okay? I want to see the practice films, Niff. I want to see, seriously, I want to see, what do they call it? The oops, no, the bloops, the blooper. I want to see, can you imagine that guy's bloopers? Bill's all pissed off. Stupid, useless talent number 42. All right, stop. So this morning I'm watching news. I'm watching the news and I'm pissed off, okay? I'm pissed off. What the hell? AI is going to get us. AI is going to get us all. And it's funny because you didn't hear the word AI a year ago. You know what I mean? I was still using an abacus. Now we're into AI. Now we're programming. Now we have to program computers not to. Do you remember science fiction? Science fiction said the computer's going to end up ruling the world. It's true. Badge Bridge, it's happening. These things are smarter than us. And if you program it a certain way, they're going to end up, I don't know who, there'll always be one, like, and $1 million. There's always going to be one bad guy running the AI program, but he's going to be able to run a lot of crap out of one little room. The world's worst villain, and all he's going to need is a phone. Carry a phone around, and I could take over the world. It's like iRobot, or like 20 times worse. AI this morning. First of all, you guys know Pops is a reader, McReaderton. Have you guys seen my reading record lately? Let me flex. Well, let me flex. I've been flexing for 2 days straight. Why don't I flex a little more? Here we go. Why don't we check out Pop's reading history? Oh. What does it say? See if I can find it. Yeah. Anyways, I was looking at 92 weeks in a row. 190 something days, 190 days something in a row, Pops has been reading. I read. at least some brain activity per day. Having said that, I want to ask you guys a quick question. Do you remember the TV show Game of Thrones? Was it a TV show or a kind of a... That was a TV show. Do you remember Game of Thrones? Seems so long ago, but God, that thing captured our attention. We couldn't wait to watch it and then tell each other about what happened that week. So-and-so's head got cut off. Red Wedding! Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe they killed that character too. Right? That was one of my favorite shows ever. It freaked me out that they could kill people. Right? Who watched Game of Thrones? Real quick. Give me a couple of... Game of Thrones. Good acting. Superb acting. The whole deal. If you didn't watch it, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. About halfway through watching it, I was like, my brother was telling me about the books. Oh yeah, I've already read the books. Well, if my brother's read a book, I have to read it. It's a intelligence competition issue I have. If he knows something, I need to know it. What an idiot. Actually, I was interested. So there's a guy that wrote those books. The book that the Game of Thrones is founded on. Who knows the name of the author of the book? Many of you do. What's his name? First three people to answer will be spin to win. Author of Game of Thrones series. Paige and Deborah, you're in, and Leroy. Paige, Deborah, and Leroy. Let's get you guys spinning. Paige, Deborah, and Leroy. Let's get spinning. All right. George R.R. Martin is the answer. You got to get the two R's in there. They might not have had the R's in there, but they know. Okay. Here we go. We've got number one's Pidgey Page. Number two is Deborah with the oyster. And so at the end of the oyster, she gets a pearl. And then we have Leroy. Okay? We've changed it from L-E-R-O-Y. We're going to say L-A. Leroy. Sounds more superfluous. Leroy. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, Deborah. Deborah, you need to scratch that pearl. I'm going to send Deborah this. Deborah, we're going to send you 10 200 milligram pop caps. And there's 2 or 3 grams of Ghost in here. Okay? A little medley pack. I need your address. So the deal is, we're back to the strong rules. If I do not get someone's address on a prize within 24 hours on my website, I am returning that prize. I'm not going to hear 3 days later, oh, Pops, I forgot, please. Because I won't remember, I promise. If I see it sitting there for anything over 24 hours, I have to give it away again. It's going to sit there and I can't sleep at night. Okay? So, that's a threat. A kindness threat. What was that one that we used to say, CCS? Kindness is a bat. I use that on Brock all the time. Hey, I'm being kind here. Deborah, that's for you, my dear. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. So I'm watching the news this morning. AI's got me more pissed off than you can imagine. You know what they do now? You know what they've done? George R. Martin is famous for, notorious is a better word, notorious for being an extremely slow author of the books. And all of the readers of his books are thirsty, like me, my brother. We can't wait for the next George R. Martin series, in the series, book in the series. George has been putting us off for a long, long time. George, I can't even imagine his publishers. He's been getting advances. Not that he's even needed the money, but who here's been waiting for the George R. Martin, the latest one that he's been promising for, I think it's been about 8 or 9 years now. I'm not kidding you. He's been telling everybody it'll be out this weekend. Who here's waited? I've been waiting for 9 years every weekend. George R., you're going to do it this weekend, aren't you? No. Maybe next Saturday. Nobody's bothered as much by this as me. Oh, well, I'll get it over with then. So what do I find out this morning? The latest version of the Game of Thrones is on Amazon now. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is fit. Oh, except that it was written by AI. AI programmers went in and put in all of George R. Martin's works and came up with his style, and they wrote his next book for us. I'm waiting for some responses. Huh? What? What? What did? They stole what? They said who? They said all what? Who would do that? I know what we're gonna do. Everybody's waiting for that George R. Martin. Well, let's make one. Are you kidding me? AI wrote the next book in a series, Hags. This extremely long waited for book by millions of people. We can't wait for it. AI wrote it for us. They didn't tell you it was AI until somebody figured it out. Anyways, I hope you guys are as pissed off as I am. I think that's really... Wait, oops, sorry. I think that's really creepy. And it just tells us, the whole reason I'm telling this story and acting it all out and everything is, boy, are we going somewhere with our AI, aren't we? One of these days, won't even be Pops here. Oh, it'll be a hologram of me. Like, I'll do, shoot 4 or 5 shows at one time. And then go fishing. And it'll sit here and you guys will be AI and with Pops. It gives you an idea what I think about it. Monotubs. Monotubs. So monotubs are made for one reason, major reason. There again, we've talked about it over and over. They are micro chambers, micro environments. We are creating, and it depends. We can make them any size we want. We're going to talk about that, and tomorrow we're going to talk about liners. Because liners, to me, are one of the most important parts of the tub process. We have examples. I showed you, I have one here. We have examples of trying to cut a corner and not use actually a liner, okay? But just paint the bottom of the container black. Pretend it's a liner. This will do one thing. It'll help you with one thing for sure. Your cake will fruit towards the top instead of to the sides. This will help eliminate side pinning. So if you paint it like this and go and use your tub, it'll certainly help with that issue. And that's one of the reasons that we use it. You'll notice when people are growing things, containers, anything like that, they're usually always dark, and they're usually, they're dark, and the reason for them is they don't want to let the roots show. You don't see flower pots on your front porch that are made out of clear plastic. You know what I mean? They're made out of a darker material. So the sun can't get through, or the light can't get through, and cause what would end up happening is you'd end up with a root ball. It would spend so much of its time rooting, going towards the sun and its light sources, it wouldn't spend as much time becoming a flower plant. Same kind of thing happens, even though they're not roots. It's a mycelial network. But our mycelial network, it seeks sides and growing this way more than it seeks going this way. So one of the major reasons that we use a liner is because we're basically making a plant tray. It's the same thing as a plant tray, where our lower third of something doesn't even get seen by anything that's close to light. Having said that, we're not going to talk about liners today as much as let's talk about the FAE and now that you have a tub, there's a certain tech out there they call set it and forget it. And that's it. You just get yourself a tub, and most of these guys, they're not using a gasket tub. What's a gasket tub, Pops? A gasket tub simply means that in the lid, I guess I don't even have a lid here right now. In the lid, or on top of the tub itself, there's a seal. There's a gasket, and that allows for two things. One, to keep the temperature regulated inside that tub, because it won't leak as much. But more importantly, your humidity. Your humidity gets trapped in your tub if you have a sealed lid. But Pops, it really doesn't. Because we don't leave our tubs with no holes all the way around them. There is a tech out there called Dub Tub or something like that. And it's a set it and forget it technique. What they do, they'll use a tub. They don't put any holes in it all the way around, but the lid is leaky. Thank you, Brock. Thank you. Here's a gasket lid. Okay, here's a trick. I'll explain this maybe next week. This gasket comes out of the lid. Okay, doesn't have to stay in there. If I take the gasket out, remove it, and I use the lid this way, I now have what I call a leaky lid. A leaky lid. And in some cases, depending on the situation, I want my lids to leak. So removing that gasket for a portion of my growth, it's a whole technique that I have, but that's a separate issue. Okay? But generally speaking, we're going to want a gasket lid. But there are the technique of not having holes in your tub. They will use a leaky lid. They'll take the gasket out, put the lid on, and now, quote unquote, the tub is breathing in and out through the little area around the top that isn't sealed. That's where the tub will get its breathing, its FAE, according to that technique. Of course, I can't tell you how much that makes me gag, but I think you guys already know that. Okay? What we do, and one of the technique that I teach and I promulgate, 56 quart Sterilite tubs are a great starting point. We call them the Cadillac tub of the industry. It's like you're driving the Cadillac, you're driving the Rolls Royce. If you get a Sterilite, that's the company, that's this blue lid one, because their seals are so good. The gauge of their plastic's fantastic. Sometimes you'll get, oh, I can find a cheaper tub. You just said the word, it's cheaper. It'll be good for you. Don't get me wrong, you can get 2 or 3 grows a year out of it, but it's not going to be a long-term invested tub unless you get what you pay for at the end of the day. So we use a sterile 54 quart Cadillac. So when I teach Myco or help spread my knowledge, I'm using the 54 quart in my head when I'm talking to you. And for 2 to 3 years, I swore by it. I had 100 of them. I started actually when students were coming here. They would leave with the whole quart, maybe even, a whole tub, maybe even 2. Cake's already made. They made the liners, they made the cake, they did everything, took it home. And now you have 2 tubs at your house, and you're off and running. You're a mycologist now. So we got rid of a lot of them that way. 54 quarts are a fantastic way for somebody to grow about 10 tubs, because 9 of them fit in 1 tent at a time. So if you're running 9 tubs, 54 quarts, that's a nice little harvest that you're going to get as you cycle those tubs. How easy would it be to throw a second tent in next to the first tent if you had space, add another 9 tubs? Man, you could be up to 18 tubs pretty quickly. Next thing you know, you're supplying meds for the San Fernando Valley, which would be perfect. Now, what I later on in my growing career, harvesting career, we have, I hesitate to talk to you guys about this because some of you will rush off and go here first. And I don't want you to. We'll do an advanced Myco class in a couple of weeks where I'll tell you a couple other techniques that I use in the growing process. And one of them is I've changed the configuration of the tub. At my grow house, as you guys have seen in some of the videos I've shown, one this morning, I'm not using 54 quart Sterilites. We're using 30 quart. The major difference isn't in the cake size. The major difference is in the head space. The head space, meaning the space between the cake, right here. Let's call this where the cake would be. Your cake is right about here. Notice it's running just a little bit, the way I do mine. My holes, and we're going to talk about those holes here in a minute, are almost touching the cake, if not exactly touching the cake or the liner. And we're going to talk about that in a second. The head space is this, between the top of the tub and the cake. That right there is the head space, right? Well, in a 54 quart, I have a lot of head space here. I have about 12, 14 inches. And that's going to allow my shrooms to grow up pretty tall. And I still have a lot of room for my FAE in here. I still have a lot of room for all of my airflow and stuff. If I make my tubs smaller, obviously I'm decreasing my head space. Hint, there's certain mushrooms I won't grow in a 30-inch tub because I need a certain amount of headspace to have that circulation. So you'll notice most of the time in a 30 quarts, I'm running stubby little kinds of mushrooms, such as the ghost, such as the iceberg, such as the squat. If I started running golden halos and I started running golden teachers and I ran, some of the Amazon ones, they really start growing tall. I don't want my mushroom to be up against the top of my tub. I want head space, so I have FAE. How are we doing? I haven't been reading any of the comments because I've just been rattling away. How are we doing? Are we listening up here? Are we paying attention? I'm just telling you Pops' techniques right now. Okay? D, you have golden teachers lifting the lids? Okay. All right. We're going to talk about holes now. The holes that we put in our tub. I don't know where it came from, bro science, but I started it when the bros did. And we've decided somewhere along the line that a 2-inch hole is a really good size hole for our tubs. And it's pretty standard. I use it pretty much in every tub that I have. Pretty much I use a 2-inch hole. Some of you are familiar with, hole saws. Pops, how do I drill the hole? Okay, this isn't a 2-inch. My 2-inch is over at the grow house where we have to drill them. But this is what they call a hole saw, right? It's a drill that will drill a hole. I know many of us know this, but there's 1 or 2 people out there like, this is going to help, so let's stick with it. This hole saw right here sticks onto the end of your drill, okay? And this is the pilot part. So you want that right at the center of whatever hole you're going to drill. So that right there is your center mark. And then that's your hole saw. Now, you'll want to get a 2-inch hole saw like this. All right? When you go to drill into the plastic, Sterilite plastic's pretty strong. It's one of the reasons we call it a Cadillac. It's one of the reasons we like using the Sterilite, because the gauge of the plastic's pretty thick. There are other tubs that you're going to get that are on the cheaper side. Their plastic's not as strong, and it's going to be a little brittle. I remember the first few times I got cheapos, and I'm drilling through with my hole saw, I'm cracking the side of my tubs. I'm like, I'm not saving any money here. I'm cracking the side of my tubs. There's a small trick that you can use if you feel this is a good way to take some of the pressure off and still get a good cut. It's hard to believe, but run your hole saw in reverse. Still drill it just like as if you're going to be drilling the hole, and you're still putting some pressure on, but you can run it in reverse. So most of you already know that, so thank you. We're saying this for the few of us that didn't know that. So if you've got your hole saw and it's you cracked, now personally I don't really, because I know exactly. Are you kidding me? We did one day, we had 100 tubs we had to prep, 6 holes in each, sat there for like 8 hours, 600 holes. Man, are you wiped out? I'm not kidding you. Nobody wants, and every one of the holes in your head, don't crack the tub. Don't crack the tub. Don't crack the tub. Don't crack the tub. Every one. I'm like, oh, like 600 of them. I probably cracked 1 or 2 tubs too in the process. But hole saw and don't crack the tub. And one of the ways to not crack the tub is to go in reverse. And believe it or not, it'll still cut your hole. It'll cut it a little bit slower, and it won't put all that torque on the plastic and crack it nearly as easily. Okay? Hip Kitty, I see you there. Meow. Hippie, send me your address. There's a box sitting here for you that I don't want to return to inventory, but I just called you out in person, and I didn't mean to do that. Shh. Okay, send me that address. So our holes, we've determined that they're going to be 2 inch. We like our cakes. When we make our cakes, When we've taken our spawn and we've added to our substrate, we create a cake. And we want our cakes to be somewhere between the neighborhood of 3 to 4 inches thick. Some people are sending me pictures. Pops, what's wrong with my cake? It's only a half-inch thick, bro. How much mycelium network are you going to get in a half-inch worth of substrate? Well, and then you send me one that's a picture. It's a 6-inch thick, and that's taking me forever. I don't understand how come I'm not getting any fruit. Bro, do you know how much longer you still have to go to get the mycelium network through there before it even wants to fruit? Okay? So, okay, hippie, thanks, babe. 3 to 4 inches gets us our 10 days of colonizing time and another 7 or 8 days of fruiting, and then we're ready to start seeing pinning and the final fruit for the next 5 or 6 days. 3 to 4 inch cake is all you need. It's actually not all you need, it's ideal. We've figured that out over time and after testing and after everything. You'll notice even the green trays that I use here, they're 2.5, 2 3/4 inches tall, and we want to make those all the way to the top. So you want your cakes to be fairly thick, but not too thick. Now, knowing that our number for our cake is going to be about 3 to 4 inches, that means the first 3 to 4 inches of our tub are going to be taken up by our cake. So I want my hole, by the way, we're going to drill 6 holes in a standard tub. We're going to drill 2 on each side, and we drill those down low, 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 next to the cake, next to the substrate. We're going to drill 2 more holes for a total of 6. The other 2 are going to be on the sides, way up high, almost as high as the handle as I can get. Okay? Once the lid's on, I can still access the handle. Now, the reason for this is there's a lot of airflow. There's going to be gas exchanges that are happening. And I'm going to say this, but this isn't mathematically or chemically correct. Obviously, oxygen and carbon dioxide are coming in both vents and going out both vents. However, there is sort of a confluence. In other words, one hole will have a little bit more if we were actually measuring it than the other. These lower holes are designed for oxygen to come into our tub. Fresh air, fresh oxygen. Why are they down there? They're at the substrate level. They're right where the mycelium is. They're right where the fruit's going to start pinning. We want our oxygen flow right across the freshness of the cake itself. I want it ground level. Peeking out. Oh, I've got freshy coming right across me. And then up here, the carbon dioxide, we feel like it's expressing out there. It's expressing out there. It's also going to express out every time I lift the lid to go in and look at the tub. I'm going to actually express carbon dioxide. And then I'm going to fan it and I'm going to put it back on, and the air will be consistently fresher. However, I will have lost some humidity because as soon as I opened it, I've unsealed it. So before I close it back up, I'm going to spray the walls. Make sure the humidity is recaptured. That's our other technique. But we're still talking about why the holes are where they are. The holes are here because I want that oxygen to go across. And don't forget, there's other holes on the other side. So I'm getting all this fresh oxygen coming across the bottom of my cake, and it's sending the carbon dioxide up and out. And there's this triangulation going on inside the box. Air's bouncing around, air molecules. Our CO2 molecules and our oxygen molecules, they're bouncing all around in here. They're doing a metaphysical dance in here. And some are going, they're triangulating in and going all around in here. So there's all kinds of, if we could actually see it at the molecular level, It would be like the Milky Way in there. It'd be phenomenal. So we put these holes, we've calculated over time with a 54-inch quart. And if we're going to make our cakes about 2 or 3 inches, we want this hole, the center of the hole. Let's get out of here with this one, you're scaring me. The center of the hole right around 4.5 inches. Right around 4.5 inches. What does that mean? We know our hole's 2 inches wide, right? It's 2 inches. So if I put one there, that means the bottom of the hole is right about 3 inches above the bottom of the tub. And I put in a 3 to 3.5 inch, maybe a 4-inch cake. That means my cake, but don't forget we're going to put liner material in here, coming right across the bottom of the hole. So we're looking for at about 4.5 inch height on the tub, on the hole. We're also looking for pretty much take that tub and divide it into 3 sections, okay? And I'd like to see it pretty much equally divided, if not just a little. I don't know where I came up with this one, but I do. I'm gonna take it, so up to here, from here to here, is 4.5. From here, from the center of the hole to the corner of the tub, I put 4 inches. So this one's 4 inches in and 4.5 up. 4 inches in, 4.5 up. Mirror the same thing on the other side. These I just put as high up as I can. Let me show you something. And this is all calculated over time and experience as my best airflow. This is my best airflow. By the way, I brought up here, we're going to talk about these tomorrow, the LED lights that I use inside of a tent. I'm going to show you guys a little LED strip. Costs nothing. And this is the lighting I'm going to tell you to use. Okay, we're going to cover that tomorrow. But I've got a tub here that's been drilled. The top hole is high up here as I can get without interfering with the handle. Side holes, side holes. Hello? Hello there. Watch this. I'm gonna make, or I make a little template, okay, for my hole location. So my hole location stays pretty consistent. Remember I said I like to go up to about 4.5 to the center of the hole? And I like to come over about 4 inches to the center of the hole. Well, all I need to do before I get my drill out is mark one little dot, which is the center of the hole. So I'll just take this. I already pre-make my little template. 4.5 up, 4 over. I'm gonna take it, go like this. I'm gonna, with a marker, go boop, put a little mark right on that corner. And I can use this same template over here on this side, same exact way. Boop, put a little mark. Come over here, put a mark. Come over here, put a mark. Put this in the to drill pile. Okay? So the old template saving time trick. Don't forget to use that. What do you think? Figure out whatever tub locations you get. Make yourself a little template. You can obviously, instead of every single time drill, I don't want to measure. I'm tired of measuring where the center of this hole is. Okay, I got to do 100 of these, 600 holes. So let's do a giveaway real quick. And then tomorrow, we're going to cover liners inside the tub and why we use the liners versus painting. Liners are probably the most important part of the inside of your tub. Okay? And they're key. And we're going to talk about those tomorrow. Anybody have any quick question? Give me one. Anybody one quick question about our tub and making it and the holes and the FAE? Anybody? One quick question. I'm going to do a giveaway. And then we're going to do our love reading. And then we're going to get out of here. Anybody? Tomorrow's giveaway is foam or tape better for the holes? Okay, so D. Anderson, it's a phenomenal question. Phenomenal question, and I actually was going to cover it tomorrow, but I'll cover it right now. My opinion is polyfill is the best. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. Goofy Pops. Goofy Pops. Watch this. Okay. Look at all this. This one right here. Let's try it with tape on the holes. Okay. This one here, let's try it with polyfill. Notice these are the cheapo tubs that I was talking about too. These are my Cadillacs. Okay. Let's try it with polyfill. Oh, you know what? Polyfill used to bug the hell out of me. It really did when I was first starting. I hated seeing those little puffs coming out of the side of my beautiful tub. I don't want to see a puff. I went out and I found vents that you could put the filter behind the vent. And I'm like, I'm pimping my tub. I hated seeing my puffy clouds sticking out of the side. It didn't make sense. I'm going to do it better than anybody else has ever done it. I'm pimping mine. So I got all of these. I mean, I probably had 15 tubs going with vents like that I've given away over time. And then the cool thing about the vent is the backside, you put a filter and you can change that filter. Okay? Keep it simple, Bill, when you're doing a lot of it. This is ego. That right there is where Pops was learning. I'm not kidding you. Pops is learning to not take himself too seriously. Right? And I'm admitting it. Now, if you're doing one or two and you're just that, but dude, who's inspecting your tub for how cool it looks? Only your brain. Okay? Only your brain. Boy, do I learn a lot doing mycology. I learned so much about myself. I obsessed over that polyfill holes. And it works the best. It absolutely works the best. And I learned that over time. Polyfill is hypoallergenic. It comes out of the bag already super clean. It doesn't impact your environment in any way. It absorbs water as it goes through. And not like a sponge. It also then evaporates out of it. And it allows a good airflow through. I'll give you an example. I've done it, of course. I'll do polyfill in a hole. And then you'll put a flame on one side and a fan on this side. And blow through and see how much the flame moves. You'll find out that your flame has a lot of action. It dances quite a bit. Tape. If you use micropore tape instead, you don't get nowhere near the flame. If I put a flame on that side and a fan on this side, I don't get anywhere near the same airflow, believe it or not, through that tape. But here's the trick with the tape. Tape's the one that you get lazy with. All right? Why does tape not work as good? Well, tape has gum on it. And just the humidity alone on the inside of the tub, just the tape, there's a web and it's full of glue, right? Well, the humidity inside your tub is it's gonna activate some of that and turn it and start filling up the tape mesh. Having said that, let me put it to you this way. Your tape at the beginning of your first putting it on a tub is gonna have a good filter property. 20 days from now, it's not gonna be filtering nearly as good. It's gonna have clogged up just from the moisture inside the tub. Here's what happens with the lazy people. They don't change the tape every cycle. Polyfill we automatically do because it actually falls out of the hole. You can even reuse it if it's not dirty. Tape, people, I don't have to change the tape. It looks pretty good. It looks clean. You don't realize that you're getting hardly any airflow out through that tape at all. You're faking yourself out. So if you do use tape, change it every single cycle. Every single cycle, change the tape. We use the tape over at the grow house, but we're also have a little bit stronger airflow, and it's a maintenance issue over there, and we figured it out. But polyfill is a great question, and my answer is by far the best thing I've found in our industry so far is the ugliest thing, polyfill. That's my opinion. Mr. Phillips, you gotta change your tape. You gotta change your tape. Parafilm, Mary Jane, doesn't give you any airflow at all. Virtually none. Parafilm is just a stretch tape. Be careful. Okay? We want airflow through our tape or through some people duct tape the hole closed for the first 10 days of colonization so that tub gets no airflow. And I'm not going to argue with that technique, so it works for some. Some people cover the top of the cake for the first 3 or 4 days with aluminum foil. Trap the CO2 down near the surface for the first 3 or 4 days while it's beginning its colonization. I don't argue with that technique. It actually works well. Okay. Parafilm for the garden shop will let air in. Thank you, Jesus Christ. I sit corrected. I sit corrected because you don't know if I'm wearing pants or not. Okay? Let's do a quick giveaway. Numbers 1 through 50. Give me a number between 1 and 50. Go, 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 go. 1 and 50. Give me a number between 1 and 50. You can give me up to 3 on the line at one time. Give me a number between 1 and 50. This is a really easy number. This number is super easy. You should get this one. Somebody's going to get this one because it's really easy. It's like one of those, I just call it an easy number. Okay? It's very easy. What number is easier than another? What? There's no such thing as an easy number. The was. Wazzy, 45. Was. 45. The was. Was. And then he was. Was. We're going to give you away one of the boxes that are all the way from last week that was never claimed by so-and-so. By the way, I haven't seen this person here, or I would have asked them to send me their address. I literally haven't seen them here for they were pretty new, popped in, won a prize, and never sent me any information. And it's been sitting here, and so I need to give it away. And that's going to you, Woz. Just 3 grams of squat are going to go to you. And I apologize to the person last week. If they still remember who they are and can reach out to me, let me know. Okay? Because they were somebody new. What's going on here? Okay, unclaimed freight goes to Woz. Hey, Woz, how's that box that the spawn that we sent you? How's that working there? Is it getting close to being ready? You know, I'm going to be giving away Spawn tomorrow. Ready to ship. I have 2 of them. Ready to ship. But I'm only going to ship them to people that have a setup ready for it. And here's going to be what happened. Last week we gave a bag away to Saul. Was it Saul? Yeah, I think it was Saul. Okay. But before I sent it to him, I tricked him. And I'm going to trick you guys tomorrow too. If anybody says, Pops, I'm ready for a bag of Spawn and I want to be in the contest, and you win, you're going to have to send me a picture of your tub and your substrate that are sitting there waiting for it. I don't want to hear that you're going to prove it before I mail it to you. Because there's plenty of people out there that really could use it right now. I don't want somebody to step up and say, but I could use it. And you don't really have you're not really ready. So that's the official word. If you guys say you're ready and you win, you're going to have to send me a picture to show me you're ready, and then I'll mail it to you. So that'll be tomorrow. We're going to do that to 2 people, 2 ready people. If you're not ready, get ready. All I need to see in the picture, seriously, I just need to see a tub. I don't even care if it's drilled. You'll drill it. I need to see a tub, and I need to see the actual soil substrate. Your soil substrate, because that's all you're going to need. When you get this, you're going to need the soil substrate. You're going to need the bag of Spawn, and you'll be ready. And I would suggest maybe a small tub. Okay? So Pop sounds like he's being mean right now. I don't mean it like a mean thing. I just want you to be ready. All right? And the good news is, bro last week was. Like he was like, Boop, I got a picture for you right here. I can't wait. So give me 5 people that think that's fair. Give me 5 people that think that's fair. He counts.
I think it's fair.
Totally fair.
You can't be some geek off the street, you know what I mean?
No, man, that ain't fair. What up, man? Okay, we just want a picture. Remember yesterday we were talking about letting go of the stone? We all promised we were going to let go yesterday. Don't pick it up. Drop it. Let it go. Thank you for admitting that, giving me the affirmation that was fair. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I truly don't want to send it. And I've been a guy that I want to win. I win it, and then I really don't need it. I've been that guy, and it's normal. So I'm not blaming anybody. Okay, it's normal. But on this situation, let's just let's treat it fair for everybody here. Okay. Has anybody seen Gypsy Life here this morning? Has anybody seen Gypsy Life here this morning? We're going to talk about her tomorrow. I'll talk about her tomorrow. I mean, like, gossip the hell out of her tomorrow. Let's do our reading and another giveaway, and in a world that lives like a fist, that's a crazy saying. In a world that lives like a fist, stop, man. Give me 10 seconds on that. Jesus Christ, be careful right now. Please. The world is sort of like a fist. How much of my life have I walked around holding my fist tight? Almost in a fight with the world. Certainly internally fighting. In a world that lives like a fist. Do you think Ukraine thinks the world's a fist? How about the guys in Libya right now? That's pretty fisty, That's smacking you right in the face, fist. In a world that lives like a fist, mercy, kindness, is no more than walking with your hands open. Wow. In a world that lives like a fist, kindness is no more than walking with your hands open. This show helps me open my hands. I want to tell you guys that. Thank you. There's other things in my life help me open my hands. My Sunday friends, my fishing buddies. So much more can happen with our hands open. In fact, closing and stubbornly maintaining our grip is often what keeps us stuck. Though we want to blame everything and everyone else, especially what we're holding on to. Listen to this. You guys have heard this one before. There's an ancient story from China that makes all this very clear. Give me 5 people that want to hear it. You've probably heard it before. Ancient story from China. Are you guys paying attention? Let's get our minds out of the gutter and into the places that count. Thank you. This is my favorite part of today. This will be my favorite part of today. There's an ancient story from China that makes all this very clear. It stems from the way traps were set for monkeys. A coconut was hollowed out through an opening that was cut to the size of a monkey's open hand. Rice was then placed in the carved out fruit, which was left in the path of the monkeys. Sooner or later, a hungry monkey would smell the rice and reach his hand in. But once fisting the rice, its hand could no longer fit back out of the coconut. The monkeys that were caught like this were those that would not let go of the rice. It's hard to be a monkey trying to climb a tree with the coconut stuck to your hand because you wouldn't let go. As long as the monkey maintained its grip on the rice, it was a prisoner of its own making. The trap worked because the monkey's hunger was the master of its reach. The lesson for us is profound. We need to always ask ourselves, what is our rice? Oh, God. I want to cry. That is a huge question. That question is so big in your life. What is your rice? And you think you're hungry for it. That's not what you're not hungry for what you're fisting. You'll see. We need to ask ourselves, what is our rice? And what keeps us from opening our grip and letting go? I've shared with you guys here many times recently about my craving for approval from my father. I was a middle child, and I was a tough kid to raise. And he didn't have time for it. Virtually everything I ever did mirrored, I need attention from this man that I idolize. He didn't like cheese, I don't like cheese. He doesn't like anything, he does it that way I do. He walks this way, I walk. I'm a little 5-year-old and I'm trying to walk just like him. And he's looking at me, I wish this thing wouldn't walk like me. He didn't get it. He didn't get how bad I needed it. It was upon hearing this story that I finally understood the tense ritual of rejection that exists between my mother and me. Like any child, I've always wanted her love and approval. But suddenly I realized this has been my rice. The more it has not come, the tighter my grip. My hunger for her love has been the master of my reach. Even in other relationships, hunger for love has been the master of my reach. I have been a cop monkey, unwilling to let go. I ended up doing cocaine over it. I have since unfolded the grip in my heart, and humbly, I can see now that the real challenge of surrender for all of us is not just letting go, but letting go of something we yearn for. The truth is that food is everywhere. Though the stubborn monkey believes in the moment of hunger that there is no other food, it only has to let go for its life to unfold. Our journey to love is no different. For though we stubbornly cling, believing in our moment of hunger that there is no other possibility of love, we only have to let go of what we want so badly, and our life will unfold. For love is everywhere. That's the old let go. Hands open, kids. Let's always have our hands open. Beautiful stuff this morning. Because it really touches me for my father. It wasn't until I was about 30 years old that I was like, you know what? I got to be my own dude now. I got to start running my own business. I got to start finding a different food source. My food source became, there's whole psychology to it, but I had another food, a whole nother food source. And some of us are really holding on to some bad coconuts. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's do a final giveaway. For today, let's do another number because it's easy on me. And we're going to have fun here tomorrow. I have a surprise here for everybody tomorrow. Oh, no, I already told you. I'm giving away 2 Spawn bags, but I also have another surprise. Okay? Surprise! Thanks, Eggs. Okay, go. Number between 1 and 50. I'd love to give something away to somebody here. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Give me 3 numbers between 1 and 50. And if one of them is the Justin OK Med Rosie, just got it. Justin OK. Justin said 17. And believe it or not, Justin, that's a 17 right there. Boop. Justin OK Med Rosie. Nice work. Justin OK Med Rosie. We're going to be sending you a Pops Medley pack. You're getting a Pops Medley pack. 10 200 milligram capsules, and there's 2 to 3 grams worth of iceberg in here. Justin, it's okay to be Med Rosie. I just like saying the name. Justin, please send me your address. at the DetroitMushLab.net within 24 hours to claim your prize. How do you like the way I made that official? Within 24 hours. Get out of here. Go accept this gift with an open. I don't want that gift in my hand any longer. I want to let it go. Gosh. Would you guys go have a beautiful day? Thank you for being here, my friends. Thank you. Boy, do you guys help me start my day in an amazing way. Have a good day, you guys. And I'll see you here tomorrow. Same much time, same much channel. Moms and Unrested and Vague and Kimberly. And Jesus Christ in Australia, thanks for being under control today. I appreciate it. Utterly a beast and Cleanie and Sharon and Mike Barabal and Niffy. You have an amazing day. And Badge, don't get your hands stuck in the mushroom box. And my hand's stuck in the tub. Sharon, let it go. City and D. Anderson and Billy D. and Slingy. And Herbie Von Worry Kebab, thank you, my friend. Jeffrey, hello, my good guy. Free. I hope you were paying attention today, kid. Unrested and Hags and Benny Ben, there you are, Ben. And Nerdy and Mike and Alan. Oh, Alan, I couldn't show that video you sent me today. This is a family show. Bob, Mary Jane, have a good one, girl. DV Boyara, Kay, Justin, Jesus Christ in Australia. Kimberly and Deborah, and Hippie Kitty Meow, and Sharon Sparky Sparkerton, Bob Johnson, and Herbie and Anthony the Big Man, and Free, Vegas, TV, Chris, Jesus, Laura. Laura's the one that's going to have a divine day. Flying Wing, Mary Jane the Waz, Jesus Christ, MDK, and Mike and Joe. Deborah, Herbie, Hippie, MDK, Douglas Edward. Have a wonderful day. Kimberly, Jesus Christ, Alan, Carlotta. Carlotta, you love everybody. Kay, Jesus Christ, Sandy, have a great day. Garrick, what do you think about the situation? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Hippie Koopy and JC, Pop Sweets, love each other and yourself. Out.